What if you asked the gorgeous player who's always overlooked you to take your virginity? And you're expecting him to laugh it off and be like, oh, sweetie, I don't see you that way. But instead, he is staring at you in utter shock. Like he thought you were a nun and this was a thing that was never going to happen. And he asks you, how could you have changed so much overnight? And you say, this isn't an overnight change. I've been thinking about this for a while and I think you're perfect for it because I trust you so much. And the word trust seems to hit him deeply because he's looking at you with an agonized expression, like he's torn. So at first he says the expected, I don't want this to ruin our friendship. So you ask him why it would ruin your friendship when you already told him you picked him because you trust him. He says, you do not understand. If I did this, I would scare you. And you're like, how would you scare me? He says, when you are intimate with someone and you've wanted to do this for a very long time, that surprises you. He's given you no indication that he's wanted to do this for a long time. He says you can get caught up in the moment and get maybe a little too intense. And you're like, Cole, what are you trying to say here? He says, I can't be gentle with you. It'd be too difficult to do. And that sounds kind of nice, but you don't want to press him if he doesn't want to do this. So you say, well, there are other people I could ask. And he's like, what other people? And you're like, well, some of your friends are kind of cute and they flirt with me sometimes. He says, none of my friends are good enough for you. And you say, I'm not really looking for a long-term thing here. I just want someone who actually wants me. He says, in that case, it should probably be me. I don't trust them to do this with you. So you say, well, what if we just started with my first kiss? And he looks at you again with what looks like pining. So he kisses you and it's a little bit stiff at first, but then it's like something snaps. He pulls you tightly against him and he's kissing your neck. And when he pulls away, he's trembling. But he still says he doesn't think you should do it. And you're not having it, so you start pursuing one of his friends. And that's when all hell breaks loose.